Speaking of accountability, something that I am going to get done and have said I'm going to get done for a while is Did I Hear Dare document or Did I Hear Documentary episode 3. I've procrastinated every single way.
Yes, remember? I was in a band. These are some of my best friends. What's happening again? Well, let's both find out. Episode 1, we formed a band.
We're gonna be a band.
I just said that.
And here's where we got Cooper.
We do have a fourth member.
And really became a band. We were picking up speed. We just played a show and wrapped up our 2019 spring semester. Okay, let's pick up where we left off and take it from there. Summer, 2K19. Jake flew to Germany. He was working on a film project for a professor. He drank a lot of beer, and would still love to tell you all about it.
When I was in Germany.
In Germany? Back in Germany.
I was in Germany.
I went to Germany.
I too was fortunate enough to travel. I flew to Australia to visit one of my best friends, Brennan. With his family, we road tripped all along the Gold Coast, did some surfing, and even got to scuba on the Great Barrier Reef. I flew back to Ohio for a week, played some music with Dom, saw our hometown heroes for some inspiration, and flew back to the other side of the globe. While I appeased my travel bug, I realized after landing in Indonesia, the music bug had tagged along. So we played some songs with the locals, and at a restaurant that definitely wasn't holding an open mic. Anyway, this is about the band, not me. Cooper went back home to the land, where he worked on another magnificent solo EP, whilst also helping LeBron train with the Cavaliers. Last but not least, Dom drove 20 minutes north from campus to his home. This is where he spent his summer, at the Skyline, and played his piano. Now we were both caught up, and everything was quiet, until we had a plan. Whilst everyone was separated and proceeded with their own summer plans, Dom created his own.
Dominic kind of materialized a 26-page packet with pictures and diagrams.
PDF.
According to the schedule, Red Single was to be released the month of June. Our first release, our pilot, Half Truths and Lies. If you were present and tuned into the band for that release, I surmise you were intrigued by the sound. I sure was. As alluded to in the last episode, we had most, if not all of the recording done prior to everyone's summer departure, and were just sitting on the tracks. Luckily, we had a friend who had already started on the cover art.
Our band is very much about including a lot of people. All of our songs have artwork done by people in Columbus.
First cover artist, Sam DeSillis.
Remember? From the list. Dom was responsible for getting cover art for Red Single, and felt like Sam could portray the half-truths and lies vibe the best. Sam had one sketch. He hit the nail on the head.
And when Cooper sent the first copy of Half Truths, and then the second and the third, I would download that on Google Drive to make it available offline, and I would exclusively listen to that on repeat, going to and from the workplace.
Lastly, to wrap up the summer, my sister had a grad party. Of course, to a new band, this was a chance to perform. Since most folks were still out of town before school started, Dom, Cam, and I took on the gig. This further deepened the itch to perform, as well as my relationship with Cameron. More on that later. And this wraps the summer. I was an RA again, this time up north at Rainy House. Cooper lived just down the block at Lawrence, and the boys moved into an apartment a few blocks south of Res, on Highland. We helped the boys move in, and figured out which room would be our rehearsal space. The living room was a shared space, so that wouldn't be ideal. But luckily, Jake's room could fit an entire drum set.
Well, my room has been taken over. My drum set is permanently set up in the corner. Dominic's keyboard will sit in here for weeks on end sometimes.
The booth was born.
Now I have to go in the booth.
Knowing we all had absurdly busy lives, we agreed on a schedule to keep us on course. What was next in the plan? Blue Single, aka Doomed. If Half Truths and Lies was an odd eclectic song to kick off our releases, I guess you could say Doomed was
Hardcore,
Punk rock?
Punk rock, a little bit of rap in there. You couldn't get more different.
Our friend Cam helped us out on many iterations of the cover. More on that later. Before we get too sidetracked, let's talk about our roles.
My role would be that of the drummer, one of the 4 songwriters, and I produce the video content.
I do the bass, vocals as well. I do a lot of arrangement things, and for our first 4 singles, I did the a mixing on those.
So I'm the keyboardist, a fourth of the vocals. As for the business side of the band, I do most of the marketing stuff, so social media and the networking portion. Anthony also kind of covers the networking.
This is true. What I lacked in musical ability,
I did not know how to play guitar.
I made up with relationship and community building. I also put into use my finance degree. More on that later. Okay, now we have clearly defined roles, a plan, friends to hit that plan. All that's missing now are shows.
We've done 1 gig at Mirror Lake, and we're just trying to figure out where do we go from here. And Anthony and I over the summer were trying to get a gig to happen, and we were like, why is this so hard?
So what did we do? Send many cold emails, leave many desperate voicemails, and attend many shows. Unfortunately, our networking and cold calls left us on red. No one wanted to take a dare. Not even this place. Looks like we'll have to make our own luck. So, how do you throw a rager of a house show? First, find a venue. Connor, Ev's friend from way back, hooked us up. More on him later. Next, find an opener. Remember this guy? No, not Cousin Drummer. Vertigo. Then, figure out your set list.
Wait, Doom.
And practice that set list. Next, hire. No, invest in a dope photographer to capture this memory for years to come. Oh, forget to bring a table for your brand new merch that you sunk a lot of money into.
Invested.
Make your friends sell it out of their car. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, a keg. How else are you going to attract college-age kids to come see a band they've never heard before? Plus, pro tip, it makes you sound better. The pieces were set. The posters were printed and posted.
That first house show at Honors was absolutely nuts.
It was an absolutely packed house. It was super hot. I mean, everybody was just absolutely soaked.
I don't know how we filled that room and got the floor to bend.
We were just playing, and we were locked in, and everybody was into it. I had people about a foot and a half away, just jumping up, yelling, just absolutely enthralled.
It was a show for the ages. We put ourselves on the map. Okay. We executed on 2 singles, networked, consistently rehearsed, and had a kick-ass show. What's next? Yellow single. So, a lot of music stems from real events. And, this is just a breakup song I wrote in my dorm room. Every band has this kind of song. My high school friend Michelle worked on the cover before the song was even finished. She also helped spruce up the band with more photos. Things were going to plan. But as we all know about plans, always plan on your plan, not going to plan. After a smash hit of a house party kicking off the school year, we thought we'd just do it again. We were in gig shape, so we felt pretty confident in our set list, and that we could pull off a last-minute show. So much so, we decided it was a great idea to do a mashup cover of 3 to 4 songs. That infamous song was called The Zombie Mash.
No, you can't hear it.
Halloween was really difficult, just because I felt like it was really sloppy. I mean, there were plans that we had beforehand with our neighbors, and they kind of fell through. There's stuff that was out of our control, but also some of it was in our control, in that I don't think we rehearsed too hard for that one. And honestly, the Zombie by Cranberries mashup with Crocodile Rock and Monster Mash was probably not in the best taste.
Coming off that show was hard. I remember sitting quietly on the couch in pensive frustration, thinking, what the heck did we do wrong? We took the next week off. We studied and refocused on the other spinning plates in our lives, all the while hoping for something to pull us out of this funk. Then, we got an email from Arouse, a student-run radio station on campus. There was an opening spot at a charity show at a coffee/bookshop just north of where I lived. That fall was a whirlwind, but that night, I remember vividly. I rushed to the show after my last club soccer practice before nationals, arriving just before we were supposed to go on. Tensions were high, and the room got quiet.
We all tuned up and plugged in, and then we hit that first note, and then everything just finally clicked.
Surrounded by friends and family, we poured our hearts out. A final performance before the holiday break. Time seemed to melt away in the music.
Have a little ballad here for you.
Our next song on Spotify?
Green single, Van Gogh. For those who need a refresher, This was the first song Cooper shared with the band. Our friend Joanna did us the honors by creating this wonderful cover that perfectly encapsulated our fall season of Did I Hear Dare. The release of Van Gogh was the final piece of the fall semester plan. For the remainder of the semester, we worked on recording our first ever EP, In Da Boof. Cooper finished his parts before heading home to the land for the holidays. Before leaving, he informed us that he was going to take a step back from mixing. Dom, Jake, and I finished recording the EP, and possibly found a new mixer. On our last day together, we met at Dava's house.
Hi.
This is our model.
Wait, real quick. God, that hat's so stupid. I would never buy it.
How about
I would pay $1 million for this hat.
Cameron, aka Dava, aka Cam, played a huge role behind the scenes of Did I Hear Dare. After the grad party, we developed a bond over motorcycles and coffee. He and the rest of our friends helped turn our ideas into physical realities. We were piecing together our mixing, merch, and show plans for the spring semester. After Cafe Kerouac, we were reached out to and booked 2 more gigs for January. We had walked the walk. Now, it was time for us to run. Or so we thought.
I found a ghost.